Hi, I'm Kelley Norton, your AZ Realty lady at EXP Realty. Count on me for all things Arizona real estate.
Hello, Arizona. I am Jason Bates, owner of Electrum Financial, where a mortgage is not a flip of the coin, and welcome to this episode of the Arizona Real Estate Lifestyle Show. And I am joined here with Kelley Norton. Let me bring her in here. There she is.
Hey guys,
hello.
I'm Kelley Norton. Hey, you got me on there?
Yeah, you're good. You're good. You're live.
All right, perfect. Yeah, and if you guys want to follow on YouTube, if you put in your YouTube search browser, Kelley, remember that's Kelley with an EY, you can see it on your screen here, but Kelley is the AZ Realty lady. And you can check out my channel as well. And Jason, is this on YouTube right now? On yours?
Yes, it's on YouTube, live on YouTube, live on LinkedIn, live on Vimeo as well. So we are kind of all over the place, I suppose.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Good info to share. So,
yeah, we got good info. Hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving. I know I did. I ate way too much myself. Gained a little weight. Got to do some sit-ups, all that kind of good stuff. But we do have a great show for you today. Now, I will say that, there are a lot of predictions out there. Hey, this is tis the season, right? For all these, what's going to happen in 2023. We don't have anything for you as far as that goes, but we do have some good news when it comes to loan limits. Loan limits just came out yesterday. Fannie Mae did their loan limit, and I got to pull it up here. But they did their loan limit increase. So as property values have gone up, loan limits have gone up. In Maricopa County, it is now $726,200. $726,200. And actually, I'll bring up the actual announcement here. Here's the actual announcement here.
And for those of you who don't know how that affects you, it actually will help the money you bring to the table, because if you were purchasing in that higher bracket and the loan limit was lower, then you would have to bring in, extra funds in order to get that conventional loan, correct, Jason?
Yes, exactly. So jumbo, plus there's fewer lenders that play in that jumbo pool, right? So the underwriting guidelines to get or obtain a jumbo loan are much, much higher and much more strict. A lot more reserve requirements, better credit, job stability, all sorts of things that go into that sort of thing.
And sometimes on those jumbos, don't they also often require a dual appraisal, like two different appraisals?
Yeah, good point.
Can't that be the case on jumbos? Yeah. So keep that in mind. That's more money too. So the fact that the loan limits have gone up for conventional is going to be a lot better for folks, especially if you're in that mid to higher range on purchase price. So good news.
Yeah, it is good news. It's good news for a lot of people. And we're expecting the FHA loan limit also to come out. I haven't seen that announcement. I think that's coming out soon. Should be following here shortly. So that probably will increase as well, because they all kind of fall in line with the conforming loan limit. And can you believe this? Some high cost areas, and I got to check with Flagstaff. I don't know about our citizens up there in Flagstaff, but I don't know if they're considered a high cost area anymore. I don't do that much up in Flagstaff, to be honest with you. Would love to do more, but I just don't. But I think that it could be $1 million. $1 million, $1,089,000. Now, Hawaii, New York, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, these are all high cost areas. Los Angeles, high cost areas. The medium sales price, $1 million. That's pretty crazy when you think about it.
Wow. Yep.
Pretty crazy.
Definitely.
Okay, so good news, everybody. So if you're out there in that price range, all you need for this is 3% down. Now, this is loan limit, by the way. So even if you're buying $1 million house, if you put enough money down to get it to 726, well, that's conforming. And then your underwriting guidelines are a little bit easier for you.
Yes.
So it's the loan amount, not the sales price, but the loan amount. Very important distinction there.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so
money to the table.
I know, right? I know. So let's come back here, and I want to I want to talk about, because Kelley, I'm positive you are getting hit up all the time with the question of, is now a good time to buy?
Right.
Right? Am I doing the right thing? The buyer's remorse. And I don't care when you're buying, you're probably getting that question all the time, no matter what. But I would think that today, in this environment, you're probably getting that question a lot more, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, we're definitely getting that question a lot. And obviously, there's absolutely no crystal ball. However, there's a lot of factors that you can look into when purchasing. And it's not just about investment, there's other components to that as well. And Arizona is a little bit of a place of its own because of the fact that we have so much industry moving here. We have microchip plants moving here. There's just so much growth that we are kind of a unique spot, really. So we were kind of a market in its own.
Yeah, and I've always said, as housing goes, or as the jobs go, so will housing. And Arizona is set up pretty nicely as to other parts of the country as far as the job growth and, future job growth. And if we got a lot of people employed here with good jobs, then housing should remain pretty strong. And I'm sticking by that. But I want to also, because I watch a lot of, economists and all this sort of stuff. And I'm sure a lot of people that are maybe even watching this also watch the economy or economists and their predictions on things. And you get all kinds of different stuff. So what to believe, right? So I want to play this clip that I came across here that I think would kind of, let me set it up here, kind of bring us to, or help us answer this question. Okay, should I be purchasing a house right now? What's the mindset? So let me bring that in here and let's play this. Now this is from Kitco News. This is off YouTube, so you can check it out yourself. E.B. Tucker here. He is a trader. He's in the metals business, precious metals. He's the director of Metalla Royalty, where he allows you to buy into his stake without having to expose yourself too much into his company. And so you're buying royalties. He sells a lot of royalties. That's kind of his gig. But he talks about housing here, and he brings up a very good point here that I want to kind of share. So
buying it cheaper, that's good, but nothing is going up.
Too many people I've talked to are holding off on buying houses because rates are up, but I've also heard the counter argument that now is actually a good time to be buying precisely because home prices have cooled down a little bit, and you can always refinance in a few years when mortgage rates are a little bit lower. You can refinance, so it doesn't really hurt you long term. What do you think?
Well, I do not think it's a good time to buy, but in fact, I am trying to buy a house actually today, so I don't want to sound like a hypocrite, but I'll tell you why I'm buying the house today is because it's a very nice place to live, and it happens to be something that I want. And I think that people should look at their house not as an investment, but as a consumption item.
Okay. Oh, shoot. What did I do? We're going to get back to that.
Returning to Kitco is another...
Okay. So, sorry about that. I don't know. I hit pause, but it didn't hit pause. I went forward. Consumption item, right? So I thought that was a great point that he brings up, and I want to talk about that a little bit because I think that we talk about this is an investment, and it is. It's an investment, no question about it. But it's more than just an investment, right?
Indeed. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
and and I'll start on that actually because first I think it's hilarious, right? So it's not a good time to buy, but he's buying, right? So that's hilarious. Number one. Number two, I mean, think about when your house, I mean, you do spend quite a bit of time in your home. This is where you have your family, if you have a family, and your surroundings definitely affect your mood, your motivation. And I think that's a really, really good point that think about other reasons for purchasing. I know that as someone that's self-employed, my environment is really, really important. And my coaches have always said, make sure that your surroundings are really, really motivating to you, that you like where you are, whether that be your office or your home office. So buying a home and changing that environment for yourself to the better is huge. It's absolutely huge. And, you know, Jason, like, if somebody has a neighbor that they can't stand, or there's not enough space and everyone's cramped on top of each other, I mean, how motivated are you going to be to get out of bed when you know you're going to be tripping over people, or listening to your neighbor banging on the wall in an apartment? You know, having a view when you look out. Part of why I just bought a house in February, a lot of people were like, that's when the housing market was at its highest. I wasn't buying the house based on the market. I was buying the home because it's what I love. And right now, behind my computer, I'm looking out at the desert and the mountain, and it's an amazing view. And so I bought for my surroundings. So that's my 2 cents.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you got to be happy. You have to be happy. Happiness is something that we all try to do, and we think happiness is, you know, getting this promotion at work, or, you know, having so many friends on Facebook, or I don't know what, you know, people think is happiness. But, you know, your surroundings and being surrounded by your loved ones, especially this time of year, Thanksgiving, Christmas, that sort of thing, that's what happiness is all about. So, all right, so let's continue. Hopefully I got back to the same spot here.
But. To our holding off and buying houses because rates are up. But I've also heard the counter argument that now is actually a good time to be buying, precisely because home prices have cooled down a little bit, and you could always refinance in a few years when mortgage rates are a little bit lower. You can refinance, so it doesn't really hurt you long term. What do you think?
Well, I do not think it's a good time to buy, but in fact, I am trying to buy a house actually today. So I don't want to sound like a hypocrite, but I'll tell you why I'm buying the house today is because it's a very nice place to live, and it happens to be something that I want. And I think that people should look at their house not as an investment, but as a consumption item. Where you live changes your mood. All right. So you don't sit around and wait for the perfect price on a house, because if you're sitting in stocks and waiting, probably the stocks go down at the same time the house goes down, right? The way you maximize enjoyment in your life is you find a place that's suited to you. You try to negotiate a fair price on the place, and you buy it, and people say, boy, that was bad timing. You say, I bought this because I liked it. Now, if you have rental property, different ballgame. That's a different ballgame, because rental property can only make your mood worse. It can't improve your mood, okay? The way a house that you live in can. So if you have rental property, you need to time the market forward. But people that are sitting and waiting to buy a house, I mean, I understand being prudent and saving your money and not being careless. Okay, I'm not trying to say shoot the gun, aim later. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is lifestyle choices sometimes are not always about just money. It's about more than that.
People are thinking
Okay. All right. So that he goes on to say a few other things that really, you know, but I think the takeaway here is that it's a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle. Yeah. And that's what housing is. It's not, it's an investment too, don't get me wrong, but it's also a lifestyle.
Yeah. It is an investment, but I think, you know, especially buyers who are newer to the market and say they've only experienced this market for the last 5 or 6 years, they only know the churn and burn real estate, right? They only are aware of that quick equity. That isn't a typical real estate market, and that's not what the long-term investment is really known for in real estate. That was somewhat of a fluke, you know, and real estate has always been considered more of a stable long-term investment. And that's why I feel like you just need to buy when the time is good for you and not worry about all that other hoopla.
Right. Exactly.
Ultimately, if you plan to stay in your home, which most people stay in the home 6 to 8 years, recently it's been shorter, but that's just because of the way that the market has been. People have bought and sold, kind of moved up. But 6 to 8 years has been the average for years and years and years. The time that I've been in real estate, you know, almost 22 years. So long-term investment is really where real estate sits, is long-term.
Well, and the other
you want to buy.
Yeah, and the other thing that he mentioned too, that I really, you know, I think was kind of skirted over a little bit, was negotiate. The word negotiate, right? Negotiate a fair price, right?
Right.
He didn't say the best price or anything like that. So for all the home buyers out there who say, oh, I'm not getting the best price, I could have gotten this or I could have gotten that, you need a good realtor like Kelley to help negotiate a fair price, right? Stop trying to, I think, because Kelley, we talked before the show, you probably see on the MLS a lot of the homes that are out there, and that's come down here a little bit, not surprisingly because of the holiday, but you're seeing some of those listings say, hey, we'll contribute X amount of dollars toward buyers, incentive or closing costs or whatever. And so buyers always think, and I think we talked about this before, hey, if the price is $350,000 and I get $340,000, then I feel good because I got a good deal. When in fact at $350,000 and taking the seller concessions to buy down the rate or use it for other things, closing costs, whatever, which in a roundabout way puts more money in your pocket because it's less money you have to put out that then you can use to upgrade the house and improve it to get maybe even a higher price on the home. There's different strategies on that, and negotiating those strategies takes a professional like you to make that happen.
Yeah, I agree. There's a lot of different options for buyers. And really, what I do is I have a conversation with the other party, right? There's certain questions that I'm going to ask that's going to give me information that's going to help me know what direction to take that negotiating conversation. Because I'm going to take little tidbits and guide my client in the best way to negotiate based on what I heard on the other end from that seller as they're representing from that seller's agent as they're representing their seller. So when you're talking about the credit, you could take it as your closing cost credit and, like Jason said, use it towards doing some of the updates later. Or you could just buy down your interest rate with it and have a more affordable monthly payment. And those are things that Jason could have a conversation with you about. What does that monthly payment look like? And let's see how long we plan to stay in the house. Let's see if the equation really makes sense. But getting the credit is so helpful in today's market because we still have pretty low inventory in general. And so what happens is you might not be able to find exactly what you want in a house. So using some of that credit will allow you to fix up some of the things that maybe you want to change. Maybe you don't like the paint. Maybe you don't like some carpet. Maybe you want to give the kitchen a little bit of an update or add something in the backyard. Use some of that, credit to do those things to the house too, so that you get the location you want, the floor plan you want, the things you can't change, right? You can always change the inside of the house, but location, layout, those are a lot more important things that really aren't easily changed.
Right.
So if the area is in your affordability range and there's just a couple things to change in the house, use that money.
Yeah, exactly.
Use it for that.
Exactly.
Things in the house.
Okay, so now that brings me over to, okay, Jason, let's buy a house. I want to buy a house. What do I need to do, right? So financing. Let's talk a little bit about financing because there have been some changes here recently to help the first-time home buyer. One of those changes is the elimination of LLPAs. What the heck is LLPAs? Well, it's loan level pricing adjustments. That's what that stands for in the mortgage world. And that's when you have a lower credit score or you're putting less money down or something like that creates a higher risk for the lender, or Fannie Mae sees it as a higher risk, such as an investment property versus a single family, a condo versus a single family, that sort of thing. Those are all adjustments to and layers of risk. Those have been eliminated for first-time home buyers. What that means for you is that I priced one out yesterday. I may have lost Kelley here.
No,
so
I'm still here.
Okay. Your screen went blank. But what that means for you is that if you have a 650 credit score, you still can get a rate in the fives. Yes, you heard me correctly. I priced it out just yesterday. You can get a rate in the fives on with the elimination of these loan level pricing adjustments. You're not in the sevens. Okay, so if you're reading in the newspaper or who reads a newspaper anymore? But if you're reading Facebook or whatever it might be, 7s, no, it's not going to happen. You can get in the 5s, but you need to call me. You need to reach out to me, and I can walk you through that to get you into that program. Also, the other thing that's very nice, and you probably get this all the time too, Kelley, I need down payment assistance. What down payment assistance programs are out there, right? Times are tough, inflation's high, it's hard to save for money. Well, with a program that I have, it's pretty exclusive to me, it's a few other people as well, you can get up to $2,500 toward your closing costs or even toward your down payment. $2,500. Now, it doesn't sound like a lot, but it's better than nothing, right? There are some restrictions that apply to that, income restrictions, things like that. So you got to reach out to me to get all the details, but $2,500. And you can put as little as 3% down on that program. So 3% down, $2,500, a rate in the 5s. Why are you renting? Why are you renting?
Yeah.
Now's the time to buy.
Yeah.
So just want to throw that out there too, because it all kind of flows together. It all kind of goes together, what we talked about today.
Yeah, one more little tidbit to add to that is a lot of times I'll hear people that are renting say, well, I want to wait for the perfect house or the dream house before I buy my first home.
Right.
So I just want to kind of share like my story, right? So, and this is really how I guide buyers. You want to get into the market, because when you go to sell that home, your payment, you've been paying towards your own equity, and you've been paying, even if the market doesn't go up, you're paying down the loan on it. So you're having the equity there, but then you could get market equity as well. So the one thing is just get into the market, and then in 6, 7, 8 years, instead of paying off someone else's mortgage, you've actually put that towards your own next purchase. So you can move up to something bigger, and you just take steps to get closer and closer to getting that dream property. But you just have to get into the market and then work towards it. But you're at least paying your payment towards your dream instead of paying off someone else's.
That's a very good point. I mean, too many people say, especially here in the Valley, oh, I want to live in Scottsdale, or I want to live in this particular area or whatever. Listen, buy a house that you can afford right now. Leverage that home, live in it, do your thing. You can leverage that house to eventually get into the home of your dreams. That's how I did it. My first house wasn't in my dream location, that's for sure. So you gotta do what you gotta do, right? But get into the market. So really good advice there.
Yeah, and one more thing. I mean, gosh, all these topics I could talk about forever. So you just tell me when to shut up. But another thing too is I can't tell you how many times I've had clients, they buy their first home, they buy it either single or as a couple, and then by the time it's they're thinking about selling it, the single person now has 2 incomes because now they've gotten married or they have someone else living with them. So oftentimes they actually keep that house as an investment because they no longer have to sell it to qualify to buy the other property. So what originally might have seemed a little bit scary got them into the market, and now boom, they have an investment property and they're getting ready to buy their next step up property. So you never know how things are going to shake out in the future for you. Just buy for now, and then later you may end up with an investment property or be selling the property to get a little bit closer to your dream home. So that's my 2 cents.
Yeah. Hashtag options. Right? Hashtag options. Get into the market, then you'll have options. So, all right. Well, we hope you like this. If you have or you did, please share with your friends and family. We really appreciate that. Reach out to us. Yeah. Don't forget to head over to Kelley's YouTube channel. If you want to mention that channel there for us, Kelley.
Yeah, so it's easiest for you to just type in your YouTube browser, Kelley, and again, it's Kelley, the AZ Realty Lady. My page is, I believe, living in PHX, but it's easier if you just search up Kelley, the AZ Realty Lady. And if you're watching this on Jason's, guys, smash that subscribe button, click the little bell. You'll be notified when he puts up new videos. and go over to my page. I have a ton of videos on living in Phoenix, different market condition videos, tours of neighborhoods. So we'd love to see you over there as well. And thanks so much for watching. It means a lot.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for watching, and reach out to us. We'd love to talk to you, even if you just have general questions about the real estate market, get our opinions, whatever. As you know, we can't say everything that we want to say on some of these platforms, but we will be happy to talk to you very candidly on the phone. So please reach out to us. We'd love to talk to you. We love to talk to people anyways. So with that, let's go.
Comments. Yeah, make comments here about video, content we shared. If you guys have questions, anything else that you wish we would have covered, that way we can cover it next time. So please, we love your feedback. We want your comments. We appreciate that.
Absolutely. All right. With that, everybody have a great day. We will see you guys soon. Take care. All right. Bye.
All right. Bye.